So we have to ask ourselves, what's the mismatch? What is going wrong? Why are so many children not having early reading success? With our limited time today, we aren't going to point fingers. We're going to instead identify 4 areas that can occur during Tier 1 instruction that will ensure that the vast majority of children will learn to read well enough to be assessed as grade level proficient by the end of first grade. We have decades of research that identify the science behind how the human brain learns to read and how to use this information to teach children to read. Data from the 2022 National Assessment findings exemplify that the majority of students are not becoming reading proficient by 4th grade. Hopefully, the 4 points that we point out today will help that happen. We have one major success criteria for today, as you'll see on this slide, and that is to identify those 4 actions and talk about how to put them into action in your classroom.
So action 1 is to know your students. And when I think of this, I appreciate this quote that says, knowing students as readers is not just about understanding their current reading levels, but also about recognizing their interests, preferences, and the unique pathways through which they engage and make meaning from text. And so when we think about knowing our students, it's beyond just a reading level, it's beyond their fluency score. It's about really knowing the students that are in our classrooms and really seeing each student as a reader.
In addition to knowing your students, it's so important that as noted in action 2, that you know the importance of having an alignment among your standards, your scope and sequence, and your data-driven instructional plan. As Aida noted in action 1, knowing the strengths and needs of your children in relation to the scope and sequence enables you to plan lessons that promotes each of their literacies.
That moves us to action number 3, which is our ability to instruct using purposeful grouping patterns and research-supported practices that accommodate each student's identified strengths. Purposeful grouping allows us to target instruction to different audiences, while whole group instruction lends itself best to direct instruction that meets the needs of most or all of our students. Independent instruction might meet the needs of 1 or 2 students. Small group instruction really is the one that allows us the opportunity to honor what our students bring into our classrooms by being able to give specific instruction to students with similar needs. Small groups allow us to know our students at a deeper level than sometimes whole group allows. And so let's be clear, you can and should purposefully group students. We need to adjust our teaching and our grouping patterns in response to what our students are learning and what progress monitoring identifies as specific needs.
I have the pleasure of bringing us home talking about action number 4, which is monitoring your progress. Monitoring, showing, checking on progress, keeping an eye out. And that's exactly what we need to do for our kiddos. We need to watch them. We need to recognize when things go a little off or if they need a little bit more support. Fuchs and Fuchs says when teachers use systematic progress monitoring to track their students' progress in reading, math, and spelling, they're better able to identify students in need of additional or different forms of instruction. They design stronger instructional programs and their students achieve better. And who among us doesn't want our students to achieve better? So as we wrap up today, can you identify the 4 actions that ensure reading success for every student? We each took one and kind of delve deeper into that. And can you identify those 4 actions?